Hey, welcome back, guys, to Blue Ridge Silverhound, and today we're going to talk about silver eagles. Sort of. But these coins right here are extremely popular and collected as bullion and coins, believe it or not, and people are paying ridiculous amounts of money. But would you pay $2,000 for this? Well, someone's ready to spend a lot of money, and we're going to talk about it today, so stay tuned. Yesterday, I had a friend that I've known for about 10 years in the coin collecting business. He gave me a call and he threw up the most peculiar thing that got me thinking, because I've talked about it before, but not into, this kind of depth, in its own video. Ugh. I'm so mind boggled by this. But anyways, he is a collector of 19th century coins, so anything in the 1800s. But yet he came up to me on a phone call yesterday and said, what do you think about toned silver eagles? There's more, I'm thinking about purchasing my first couple of them. I have a couple of them lined up online, and one is $400, another one is almost $1,000, and I want your unbiased opinion. And I gave it to him. I'm trying to talk him out of it for a good reason. All right. So silver eagles have been minted to be bullion. Plain and simple. Somehow, some way, the collecting market kind of caught up with the idea of silver eagles. I guess you could thank the design on them for, replicating what was on the Walking Liberty half dollars. You put all these ingredients together and you have one really hot product that everybody waits for every year. Okay. And you have your reverse proof, you have the regular proof, you got the, the burnished ones, you have the West Points. All of a sudden, the U.S. Mint is kind of capitalizing on, what has become one of the most popular selling investment vehicles. Okay. Ask any investor. Yeah, and they'll say, there's no better investment vehicle than actual physical of something, which kind of makes it tough to speculate through the stock market by buying paper stocks of a precious metal, whether it's silver, gold, platinum, palladium, whatever. But in the case of my friend, okay, he is interested in one of these toned silver eagles, okay, and it's graded. Okay, one is graded PCGS, the other one is an NGC slapped coin. The NGC is actually the cheaper of the two coins. And I wanted to talk a little bit about where these originated, because my big hang up and what I tell a lot of folks is you got to be careful, because a lot of these are AT, all right, which is called artificial toning. Even to this day, every single one that I see, it's like, oh yeah, artificial toning. It's kind of hard to develop. What would take 2 or 3, 4 generations to develop over time on a Morgan silver dollar. It's like, and here you see a coin, a silver bullion piece after about 20, 25 years, look like $1 million, literally. And I wanted to kind of discuss and educate you guys on the origin of where these came from and how they were, I don't know, how they've grown over time to develop all these wonderful colors. And it could all be tracked back all the way to when a third-party grading company called PCI began slabbing coins. Okay, so you're going to see a few images on screen of examples of these slabs. And guess what? There's 2 silver eagles inserted in there as well. One that is natural, just raw, kind of like blast white, and the other one, after a while, has developed toning. Well, these slabs that PCI used had chemicals in them and all that reacted to the silver. Now, keep in mind, 999 fine silver reacts a whole lot quicker than, say, 90%. Not a lot of people know that. Some people say, well, the rate of colorization on a coin toning style should be the same across the board, and that's just not the case. most purest of fine metals in these bullion pieces will enhance the toning process of the coins. So right out of the gate, I'm not disputing that the PCI slabs, especially if they're 15, 20 years old, it will progress the toning stages of these Silver Eagles in a much quicker fashion. And, you put in the kind of like the very chemically materials that they use, probably more for the inserts than the actual plastic that they use for this slab encasement. So the big question is, all right, with these PCI labels, at that point, is it considered artificial toning or natural? Well, the conversation for years has been split right down the middle. I'm a firm believer that it's artificial toning, right? I guess it's no different than, say, taking a Silver Eagle and kind of messing around with it so that way it tones faster. Okay, some people like to do the easy bake method, where they will put one of these coins in the oven. They'll jack up the temperature to about 250 degrees, much like you're smoking, your own meat. If you're doing ribs or whatever, and you'll mess around with the environment so that way it tones a specific way. But the problem is with the easy bake method, the toned coins will look more yellow than any other color progression. All right, so seeing that over the course of many years, that is how artificial toning works. Okay, so it's all in the processes of trying to accelerate by use of moisture, humidity, heat, and the type of materials that you use. So another common method is people used to cut out old vintage albums and then do the holes in there and then put the coin in there and then throw it in the oven to see if they'll get that progression. And it's slimy as all get out, but it's what they're doing. Okay, the big problem I have is, like this particular example, we have a graded PCGS coin with a fully toned, crazy looking Silver Eagle, both on not only the obverse but the reverse as well. Okay, and this is all kind of like that questionable kind of the buzz around the office, so to speak. What do you make of this? Okay, you have to be careful of two things. Number one, because of how quickly these toned, okay, you have to believe that the secondary market's going to be a lot more limited for coins like this, because all of I'm going to say the seasoned veterans and the purists will see these as being nothing more than artificial toning. They just won't pay the premium. And then you have the next gen wave, I guess, of collectors. Okay, and that's going to be kind of like your 18 to 35-year-old prospector base. They're really not into the old stuff. They're more into kind of like toning, high grades, moderns. This is definitely within their wheelhouse. Okay, here's the problem. All right, the next gen collector base is way up here. Okay, there's many more people that will gravitate towards something that's modern, current, high grade, and beautiful than, say, going with something with with a lot of history to it. Okay, coins from the early 1800s, late 1700s, colonials. So you get the big picture. The PCI slabs, in these cases, created most of what you see on the secondary market as far as toned Silver Eagles. Like the image I showed you of the coin that was in the PCGS slab, sold on, I believe, Great Collections for $2,200. So on the most extreme of cases, coins like that will always have a market, whether you believe in the actual methodology of how these are produced, the toning rather, in the long run. Okay, because that perception will change as more younger collector base comes out to the market. Now that the next time that the stock market takes a dip and we fall into a recession, that's where you're going to see a huge growth in the amount of newer, younger collectors that will want coins like this. Okay, and that's just going to be par for the course. Okay, it's inescapable. You can't really do anything about it. Now, for those of you out there watching, okay, what can you take from this? You're either going to be on this side of the fence or this side. I'm on the old school side of things. I just feel like it's too jank. to make kind of like this educated investment future kind of like outlook on these type of coins. I feel like they're way too risky. And all it'll take is like one bad press release or news release to come out in the numismatic world. Like for example, a few years ago, PCI was nabbed for racketeering. All right, that's why they're not around anymore. They're out of business. As far as I know, I don't see a website for PCI, but they got hit with a $2 million, I guess, fine. That and a coin dealer. It's pretty crazy stuff. It's actually on Coin World, and it's things like that. Once things like that go out into the news world and it becomes viral, like for instance, if someone were to actually do a analyze for the chemical composites of the slabs, I'm willing to bet they'll find some stuff. Okay, and then it's going to be even more of a negative light on what these coins mean in the secondary market. So, if you're considering buying toned new coins like this, and people are actually seeing some toned modern commemoratives from like the 90s with this kind of second level of toning that, again, takes about 75 to 100 years to progress. It's just really insane how, these are selling for quite a bit of money. Now, is it 1995 West Point ASE money? No, not even close. Those coins are 10 grand and up. These right here will slowly start to become even more popular. Morgan dollars are going to be, harder to find with that original toning, and people are going to gravitate more toward the silver eagles. And then that might enhance the value and the marketability of the coins for this foreseeable future. So you want to heed caution if you are considering buying these. Okay, I would stick with the PCGS NGC graded coins because they're already graded. Those companies do a good job at sniffing out what they consider to be artificial toning. These, in my estimation, are artificial toning, but they're being objective about it, and that's fine. And it's only going to benefit future XYZ collectors, and you guys got to be careful that you don't go in investing a ton of money in something like this when very easily you could buy a roll of 20 of these things and possibly come out way more ahead on that next downturn in the economy. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Sorry to keep it kind of long-winded. The tone grading market for coins in general is pretty robust. They haven't really dropped. It hasn't really risen. It's kind of like stayed on this even playing plateau in investment terms. There's no dips or peaks in tone coin market, which is good news. Okay, and I think as we live through our years and then we begin to see new buying habits in coins, you'll see that toned silver eagles are definitely going to be one of the top 10 things that new collectors are gunning for. So anyways, I wanted to talk about that. My buddy, I'm still telling him, don't buy it. Don't do it. Because, for the longest time, he's bought nothing but high grade pre-Civil War coins. And I think he ought to stay with that because it's just, the popularity is mounting on those type of coins. And these coins are going to be harder to find, in grades above XF one day. You never know. But anyways, I'm your host, Blue Ridge Silverhound. As always, don't forget to share and subscribe. I got to do giveaways all summer long, so you'll want to hit the bell as well. Would love to hear your comments. You guys take care. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next one.